Today I review Captain America Steve Rogers #1 and talk about the reveal that came along with it. Hello and welcome to the show with reviews. I'm Auram, and normally we review 3 comics on this show every week, but I decided to kind of take one whole episode to talk about Captain America Steve Rogers #1, and for those of you that have read it or have just been on the internet in the past few weeks, you know why I'm talking about it, but for those that don't, I will give you a spoiler warning before we get into that. So, let's get started. So Captain America Steve Rogers #1 was written by Nick Spencer with art by Jesus Sai, and for the most part, I really loved it. It's kind of hard for me to talk about the book in general without actually talking about the reveal at the end of it, so I'm just gonna give some general thoughts on it before we head into the spoiler territory. So the art is the main thing that kind of grabbed me here. It was good, but it was kind of weird. The faces were a bit odd, and I noticed this in the Free Comic Book Day issue, as well as some of this artist's previous work, is that the faces and kind of just the skin kind of feel like clay almost. I don't know, it's weird. It's good art, but it's just a little weird. As far as the writing goes, it was really good here too. Spencer is very good at crafting kind of the flashback type stories. I know in his run of Sam Wilson Captain America, the first one, there was a lot of flashback going on there. Like, I think it was just a 5-issue run, but yeah, it was really good there too. Last thing I wanted to say before we get into the spoiler territory is that this is feeling more like a Captain America book, like a Steve Rogers book. The last run that we had on Steve Rogers was kind of the Remender run, and I think you all know what I feel about that. It's garbage, but it didn't feel like a Captain America book. The last one, in my opinion, that felt like a Captain America book was Ed Brubaker's run. And Sam Wilson is an entirely different thing. He's a totally different character, so it's a different tone in that. But Steve Rogers has his own tone, and I know this is just one issue in, but to me, it's already feeling like another good, big Captain America run. Okay, so for those of you that don't want spoilers for this issue, I'm sure you already have heard about the reveal and all that stuff, but if you don't want spoilers, just click an annotation around here, or just end the video now, just go away. That's your warning. So, the reveal in this issue. Captain America, Steve Rogers, has been Hydra this entire time, and yes, there are, like, many different things that go along with that. People are very angry, or very happy, or just kind of in between. I don't know. It's kind of polarizing. Most people seem to be angry about it, but the people that seem to be angry about it don't really know much about it. But anyway, I, for one, loved the reveal. In my opinion, and it's kind of fact at this point, comics are cyclical. Things happen, then they go back to the status quo, then things happen again, and so on. This is what's happening here with the Steve Rogers reveal. Just because he's Hydra now doesn't mean we're not going to get a good story, or that the character is dead for years to come. The stories where we didn't know he was Hydra, or that he wasn't Hydra, still exist. It's just, there's a different status quo now. And of course, like I said, comics are cyclical. This is eventually going to go back to the way it was, or we're going to come out of this with a Steve Rogers that we know more, that has changed because of his Hydra reveal. He will be redeemed in the eyes of us. I mean, look at Superior Spider-Man. That story is regarded as one of the best Spider-Man stories in recent years, and it's the exact same thing. Peter Parker, at the end of Amazing Spider-Man issue 700, died in Otto Octavius's body, and Otto was left in Peter's body. So, for the next few years, Otto Octavius was Spider-Man, and guess what? Everyone loved it. And that's not to say that there were some apprehensions about it. Back when that came out, I wasn't reading comics, but I have heard that people hated it right off the bat. That's what's happening here. It's the same thing. Just calm your shit. For example, when I was reading the first issue of Civil War II when it came out, I was questioning his motives the entire time. This reveal just adds another layer to his character that we wouldn't have gotten otherwise. So yeah, that's what I have to say about Captain America Steve Rogers #1 and the big reveal that came along with it. If you're not satisfied with what I said on the subject, or you don't agree with me at all, I do heavily recommend checking out the Comic Misconceptions that Scott and I put out on NerdSync a week or two back. We interviewed Mark D. White, and it's a great video, and if what I said about the subject didn't sway your opinion, or if you still don't agree with me, go check out that video, and if you still don't agree with me, then that's your prerogative. That all being said, be sure to subscribe before you head out so you don't miss out on anything that I upload every other Wednesday and every Saturday. And of course, thank you so much for watching. And next time, comic books.